Hello dear students. So this is a video lecture for class 12th biology students. We will cover here human health and disease. As a complete chapter is not possible to complete in one presentation, so I have divided it in parts. So we will cover here part first, and the things which we will complete here is in a synopsis manner. First we will take a introduction regarding the human health and diseases. Then after, type of diseases, causes of diseases, transmission, resistance to infection, and some common diseases of human. Basically we will cover here viral disease, bacterial disease, protozoal, fungal, and helminthes disease in a priority manner. So without delaying shall we start things? Okay, so as the human health and disease can be defined as a condition of disturbance or disarrangement function of the body caused by any infection, defective diets, heredity, environmental, or deprived condition of brain. There are several reasons which affect the human health, or in a simple manner you can also call it as a unfavorable or uncomfortness with a physical, mental, and environmental condition. Together, by summarizing all the things, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-beingness. Although no person on earth is a completely healthy person. So anyhow, the person may be discomfort with any of the situation, either physical, mental, or a social. So in this manner, it is a short introduction to a human health and disease. Now, we will cover the types of diseases, as there are several categories of diseases which we have. First, congenital diseases. As you can see, congenital are the diseases before birth we get this. They are the defective hereditary transmission in the body. Maybe the physiological disturbance or the transplacementation transmissions. Due to this several condition it get occur. Haemophilia, color blindness, sickle cell anemia. These are some of the examples in congenital diseases. A genetic material is responsible for this type of diseases, so that it is referred as congenital diseases. On to the other hand, some of the acquired disease which we have, they are either communicable or non-communicable. You can also refer it as a infectious or a non-infectious disease too. These diseases we get after the birth due to some type of infection, ineffective diets, hypersensitivity, injury, addiction, degeneration, or many of the reasons. So acquired disease which we get after the birth. In a same manner, infectious diseases or communicable diseases which we got by biological agents. All the infectious disease which we have, they are due to the invasion of pathogens. The disease caused by pathogens are in this category. Several viral, bacterial, protozoal, fungal, and all the other diseases are under this category, those who are caused by pathogens. With respect of diseases which we have due to the nutritional deficiencies, they are categorized as a deficiency diseases. Disease caused by the absence or deficiency of any essential elements, just like anemia, goiter, kwashiorkor, beriberi. So this type of diseases are under deficiency diseases. Simultaneously, we have more categories just like a degenerative diseases. As the aging caused, and due to the aging, the organ and organ systems not work properly. There are several malfunctionings, so it decreases the efficiency of the organ and organ system, that leads under degenerative diseases. So here we have seen several types of diseases. On the next hand, if we see the cause of disease, as we have seen, there are lots of diseases caused by pathogen, nutrition agents, chemical, physiological or physical agents are there, mechanical agents are there, genetical agents are there, degeneratives are there, social and personal inconsistencies are there. So maybe there are several causes of disease. Okay, so as the type of diseases which we have seen earlier, the agents or the disease causing organisms depends. Either they are biological or a nutritional agent, a chemical agent, or any of them. As per the type itself, we can divide the causative agents as well. But if we talk about the pathogens or the biological agents, they used to cause the infection in the body. Now, infection, if we want to define it in a proper manner, infection is just invasions, establishment, and a growth of pathogen in host body. So in short, you can refer it as a IEG of pathogen is termed as infection. In a very short manner, you can refer it. Infection is IEG of pathogens. Now what it means? I means invasion, E means establishment, and G means a growth of that particular pathogen in any host. So whenever these three things the pathogen used to do, it causes the infection in the body. Not only in the body, but yes, if they are on the articles, just like the milk, food, water, garments, the things which we uses, the articles which we uses, if these pathogens are present on them, they are also be the cause of the infection. So in this manner, the individual person can get infected through a biological agents. Here in this presentation, as we are going to cover all the infections only which are biological. Okay, so first we will see how they are transmitted from body to body, or the transmission of infectious diseases. On a broad manner, we can divide it into two broad categories. Some transmission which we see that they are direct, and some of them are indirect. Now the term direct and indirect directly tells about the meaning. Direct means direct contact with the infectious person. Many of the infection diseases are there, just like if we talk about tetanus or rabies, or just like flu, coughing, cold. So this type of diseases are just infectious diseases. They used to spread directly being in contact with a infected person. No intermediate agent is been present here. On the other hand, if we talk about indirect transmission, so yes, in indirect transmission there is an intermediate agent required. Several vectors or vehicles are being present there. So vectors and vehicles are used for transmission of diseases from the host body to from the vector's body to a host body. Okay, so here the difference between the vector and vehicles. Vectors are basically the biological, or you can say the biological agents. They are the living organisms. Some of them house flies, mosquitoes, scent flies. These act as a vector. And on the other hand, if we talk about vehicles, so vehicles are the articles, food, water, and the things which we carry. So yes, if it present on the articles and transmitted into the body, so that type of transmission is called indirect. They are due to either vehicles or vectors. Some of the indirect transmission can be done with the air also. The dust and the air current spread the disease too. So these are in short the direct and indirect transmission of diseases. After that, we will see one a basic important factors, that is the resistance to infection. As we know, every pathogen has a specific portal to enter into the body. The invasion is okay. So invasion is a ability of pathogens to enter into the host and grow there. as the pathogen entered into the body, it will show some pathogenic activities. Due to some of the pathogenic activities, they used to produce some pathogenic material there. Either the pathogen directly or the pathogenic material. Both can be virulent to us. So there is a virulence is the ability of pathogens to produce disease. Both can be as a toxic material also. So they can produce the toxic materials by doing the pathogenic activity. This property or the power is called toxigenicity of that particular pathogen. Okay, so toxigenicity is the power of pathogen to form a toxins capable to damage host cell. And as the toxigenicity increases, the virulence property of a pathogen also get increased. So this you need to go through in a very detailed manner, resistant to the infection. And now one by one we will take a view of all the diseases. The common disease which we have covered here: viral, bacterial, protozoal, fungal and helminthes. So first we will see all the viral disease. But here, as due to the shortage of time, I have covered here only few of the viral diseases. Just like written here, the viral hepatitis, dengue, common cold, influenza and the poliomyelitis. Only some general information I will share here, that if we talk about viral hepatitis, so viral hepatitis is commonly called as jaundice. It is more common in Eastern European, Africa and Asia. Basically, in hepatitis, the liver got affected. In an initial stage, you can see that the enlargement and congestion get occur into the liver. As the stages grows, later on the liver size becomes small and a yellowish or green fluid, uh, fade green color it used to acquire. So due to the invasion of this hepatitis virus in the body, the symptoms used to be generated. There are continuous vomiting, feeling, nausea, epigastric discomfortness, and the pain in the joints and muscles are the common symptoms. Although hepatitis virus has been divided into 6 different categories, we have 6 varieties of hepatitis. They are hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, and G. Here I will little bit cover all those hepatitis here. Just like in hepatitis A, it is known as a hepatitis which is an infectious hepatitis. It is spread by the ingestion of contaminated food and water. Hepatitis B, on the other hand, is also referred as the serum hepatitis. Hepatitis C, this is the basic hepatitis which we know. 90 to 90% cases of transfusion associated with the hepatitis only. So that is the hepatitis C. And in hepatitis D, it is also referred as the delta hepatitis. As with this hepatitis, one relation with the hepatitis B patients. Once the patient is been affected with hepatitis B, they have a more chances to affected with hepatitis D. Similarly, hepatitis E and G are also been there. So here just you have to go through the superficial level. We don't have much detail here, but yes, just overview is given here. Now after the hepatitis virus or hepatitis disease, the next viral disease is dengue. As you know, dengue is caused by RNA containing arbovirus or a flavivirus group. Flavivirus is a group of that arbovirus, so which is basically also known as the yellow fever. Thus, the virus which causes dengue fever is a mosquito-borne flavirabinovirus. Flavirabinovirus. The Aedes aegypti female mosquito used to be act as a carrier here. So it is a vector here, and it used to lay eggs. The female mosquito lay eggs in a clean environmental condition. They don't require a dusty or a muddy water. They required a fairly clean water. And of course, yes, the location around the human habitats are the favorable condition for that. So due to which the dengue fever used to be spread through the household areas only. Some of the common symptoms and the incubation period is given here. In dengue, 3 to 8 days are the incubation period. Within these days, the symptoms used to be generated by the virus inside the body. As they do the pathogenic activity, the symptoms will be generated. So some of the symptoms are given here, just like abrupt onset of high fever. Abrupt onset fever means a continuous fever will come to your body. And a frontal headache. Frontal headache means the front portion of your head get constant pain. Muscular joint pain and nausea and vomiting are the common symptoms in dengue fever. Now the common cold. Common cold, as it is also viral infection and disease, but there are moreover 100 types of rhinoviruses are reported. So we have more than 100 types of rhinovirus, and also some of the bacterium, dilesters, pneumocyntates, they are also been reported to cause common cold. The symptoms during the common cold are given. Just like in virus, it infects the nose and the upper respiratory passage, causing the inflammation of mucous membrane. There, it irritates a nasal tract. So, the nasal congestion, flow of mucus, sneezing, sore throat, hoarse sense, cough, or the tiredness, headache, and slightly a fever may come to a person. And of course, we don't have a proper curation or a treatment. Actually, the body used to heal within 3 to 7 days itself. So it cures automatically after 3 to 7 days. And still, if you don't get cure, do consult to your physician then. Okay. So yes, it is a common cold, a viral disease. The next is influenza. Now, just like a COVID virus or a coronavirus, influenza was also an endemic pandemic virus. This virus is also causes lots of death of a peoples. Just like a COVID or coronavirus, in past years, influenza also has brought a very pandemic disease. Endemic influenza is basically caused by Haemophilus influenzae. It used to be infected under a gram-negative bacterium. Avian flu is also viral disease caused by H5N1. It is also referred as the bird flu. Okay, so avian flu, or you can refer it as a bird flu. The incubation period for this is also 18 hours to 72 hours. Symptoms, as you can see, it is a flu. So yes, cough, cold, pain, and other things will be seen. Headache, chillness for continuous 4 to 5 days. So these are the common symptoms in flu virus. Now the last virus, poliomyelitis. In a simple manner, it is also referred as a polio virus. It is also RNA based virus. The diameter is given 10 micrometer. It enters the body through the food and water and multiplies in the cells of intestine wall and spread in nervous system through a bloodstream. Basically, the poliovirus affect the nervous system. It produces inflation of nervous system, and due to the inflation in nervous system, lots of organ systems get damaged. There is inability to bend the head forward. There is a stiffness in a neck, or directly you can have a paralysis of skeleton system or muscles. Fever, headache, chillness, pain all over the body are the common symptoms. And yes, of course, it is a you can consider it as a chronic disease as well. Once it get enter into the body, it will be with you for your life. So it causes a chronic type of disease and infection in the body. And now we will cover some of the bacterial disease here. As bacterial disease are caused by the bacteria, and the disease which we are covering here are tuberculosis, cholera, and pneumonia. So similarly, just we have covered viral diseases. Here now we will cover some of the bacterial disease. The first is TB or tuberculosis. This is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis and infect any part of the body. It could be bone, brain, lungs, or any of the part. But the main organ which is affected is lung. So lung are the most common organ which is affected by tuberculosis. The bacterium releases a toxic material called tuberculin. As we have seen, any of the pathogen entered into the body will do the pathogenic activity and releases pathogenic material. So in case TB, the tuberculin is a toxic material released by the pathogen. This tuberculin used to destroy the tissues and infect inside. It spread through the sneezing, coughing, contaminated food and water, or the clothes as well. So very less incubation period, up to years as well it can be seen, 3 to 6 weeks and maybe for a year. So during this phase of time, the symptoms in the body get increased. There will be a constant cough, and in severe cases the sputum with blood can also be come out. Pain in a chest while coughing, lose the body weight, and gradual weakness of the body will be shown. Low grade fever throughout the day, and the symptoms of lung TB. So all these things can be caused by tuberculosis. The next disease is cholera, as it is also a bacterial disease, but the main cause of this disease is water. So this is caused by bacterium Vibrio cholerae. Okay, and the common infection infecting intestine and the digestive tract. It is spread through the contaminated food and drinking water. The causative bacterium secrete cholera toxin. The toxin which is secreted by the bacteria is cholera toxin, that is also an enterotoxin. The excessive secretion of this toxins act as a isotonic electrolytes solution by the intestinal mucosa. Later on it will affect the linings and destroy them. So yes, it acts as a enterotoxin inside the body, and the incubation period is very less, 2 to 3 days, and the symptoms are nearly similar, just like if we show the characteristics, just like sudden onset of profuse, effortless, rice water like stool and vomiting, rapid dehydration, loss of minerals, and muscular cramps with your abdomen. So these are the common symptoms which can be generated by cholera. Okay, now the next one is pneumonia. Pneumonia is a very serious lung disease, as the main organ which is affected here is lung, and the fluid get gather into the alveoli and bronchus, so that the breathing become difficult. So it is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae, or the alternate name you can use Cryptococcus pneumoniae. It also has a very less incubation period, 1 to 3 days. During 1 to 3 days only, the symptoms get occur in the body. It is spread through the sputum of a patient, either through a sneezing, coughing, through the droplets. It can be spread. The onset of pneumonia is usually sudden, with a single shaking chillness, followed by the fever as well, with a breathing on the side of lungs involved, increased pulse rate, respiratory rate, and cough. The sputum is bloody or rusty sometimes. So these are the common symptoms in pneumonia. So as we have covered two of the diseases, viral and bacterial, now we will cover some of the protozoal diseases. As in protozoal diseases, the first disease which you can see here is given amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. Amoebiasis disease is a protozoal infection of upper part of large intestine, which is caused by the monogenous protozoan, also known as Entamoeba histolytica. So Entamoeba histolytica is a causative organism for the disease amoebiasis. The infection is by the cyst Entamoeba present in the stool of infected person or a cat, dog, monkey, any of the organism. And this infectious material or the cyst get forwarded or carried by houseflies or air current or other physical contents can be used for the transmission. So it get transmitted through variety of forms. And the person if get infected, just of course dehydration type symptoms get generated here as well. And the next protozoal disease is malaria. As in malaria, it is caused by a digentic and a triphasic protozoa. Now here, digentic and triphasic, these are the two terms which you have to remember. Digentic are those category of organism, those who have two hosts to complete its own life cycle. So just to complete the life cycle, they require two hosts. Such all the pathogens are categorized as digentic. Okay, so malaria is caused by digentic and a triphasic organism. The triphasic means the life cycle completes in three phases. So yes, it is a triphasic cycle. And the protozoa which causes the disease is called Plasmodium. As we have four different species of Plasmodium. Okay, so now we are not covering it here. We will cover malaria into another PPT or another presentation. There we have to go through the cycle, a triphasic cycle, and also a complete view. But here, just like we have covered it overview, the malaria has two hosts, as a primary host is female Anopheles mosquito, and the secondary or intermediate host is human. Now these are the two diseases of protozoal. One more disease which we will cover for protozoa is sleeping sickness. It is caused by trypanosoma, also referred as a trypanosomiasis. Trypanosomiasis. So it is also referred, and basically it is seen in Africa. So also referred as African sleeping sickness caused by Trypanosoma gambians by the bite of blood-sucking Tsetse flies. And also one more species is been seen here. So together they are being referred. Trypanosoma is a protozoan which is a digentic also. So yes, it also covered the life cycle in two different hosts or two different organisms. The primary host is human here, antelope and the reservoir host. Antelopes are as a reservoir host. We will see what are reservoir hosts when we see the life cycle of malaria. And the secondary host, CC fly, are the secondary host. So here, the protozoal disease, we've covered here three protozoal disease. Okay, as you can see, amoebiasis, malaria, and sleeping sickness. Now, the fourth, fungal disease. Fungi are, on the other hand, are also infectious. So yes, fungus act as a pathogen to us. They are the microbes, microorganisms in the category. The ringworms and the round red silver type of appearance onto the skin, or mainly the scales, lesions, or skin, nails, scalp. These are the main organs which get affected due to the fungus. The fungi used to grow on them, as the fungal contain or has a saprophytic mode of nutrition. So they used to grow onto the skin or onto the nails, scalp, the place where they will get a favorable condition. As they grown there, they will cause an intense itching there. As due to the itching, the temperature of the body get rise, so heat and moisture promotes growth of the fungi, and they require that things particular to grow. especially in folded skins. The folds of skins are the common areas where this fungal infection can be found. It can be transmitted through the soil, towels, clothes, combs, or directly through an infection person. And there are several type of fungi which causes either the foot like the ringworms, athlete foods, tinipids. So there are several type of fungi they are given here. So here we are as covering it is in a superficial manner. So yes, the fungal diseases are here. They are also cause the skin infections mostly. So that alternate name is also given for them, dermatophytes, as they infect the skin mostly. And now at the last, we will cover some helminthes disease. Helminthes, they are the parasite which may be end or ectoparasites. Ascariasis is a common disease which is found in human. This disease is caused by a roundworm, Ascariasis. This Ascariasis is also been referred as a giant intestinal worm. It used to affect the intestine so that it got a giant intestinal worm. The female is basically more bigger than a male, and the female used to lay egg more than 2 lakh eggs per day, and all these eggs used to contain into the fecal material of human, and as they released into the soil or anywhere else, so for lots or for a long day they have a property to get life, so they remain alive in the soil for several days. So from the soil and through the airflow current they can be transmitted from one areas to another. And the second helminthes is a filariasis, or you can say the elephantiasis. Elephantiasis is also caused by a nematode, Vaucheria bronchophyll. So Vaucheria bronchophyll is another worm you can say. In two different areas it is to be found more, so that the disease spread by both the areas respectively are given the common terms. Bronchophyll filariasis and Bulgarian filariasis, as per the two different species we found them. So here we have covered basic pathogens which causes the human diseases: viral, bacterial, protozoal, fungal, and then the helminthes. So this was your first part of the video. Hope the things are understood. See you with the next part. Till then, take care, stay healthy. Thank you.